Last time I showed you how to use this team right here behind me to make an explosion team that uses the Gardevoir as a Misty Explosion user. If you don't know how the team works, feel free to go back and watch the other video. Otherwise, today we're going to show off some more matches where we use this funky little team. So, let's get onto the battles. So for our first battle, we are up against Pre-Tip, and unfortunately I forgot to hit record when I was selecting the Pokemon. But our starting two Pokemon are going to be Drifblim and Shiftry, with the back two being Gardevoir and Weezing. Meanwhile, they have a possible fire team going here with the Torkoal, Armarouge, Charizard, and Indeedee. And in their first lead, they do lead with the Torkoal plus the, what is it called? Lilligant. So of course that is going to be the Sun setup for what I assume is Chlorophyll on the Lilligant. Probably going to go for an off to me, so I'll use Fake Out onto the Torkoal. Meanwhile, Drifblim can use Tailwind. This is that utility coming in from Shiftry as well here, allowing it to buy us a turn to be able to activate the Tailwind. And of course, they have a Torkoal, they're in the Sun. What else are you going to do other than going Terra Fire on your Torkoal? It's like the only thing that ever gets done. If you see a Torkoal, it's almost absolutely going Terra Fire. But little do they know, we're going to prevent that because Fake Out's going to go first and do a little bit of damage. More importantly though, they try and use Off to You, which does move first. And because of the Fake Out, Torkoal does flinch. That means that we can have Tailwind go up next. This will increase our speed, obviously, and also give Wind Rider to Shiftry, giving us a +1 attack boost. Now the issue is, I don't know if we outspeed Lilligant, so we're going to go for an Explosion. And because we don't outspeed it likely, we'll use Helping Hand on Shiftry to make it do some extra damage. Helping Hand, of course, having priority, goes first. And let's see. Yeah, as expected, Lilligant still goes first with After You. I mean, if we had Unburden as well, maybe we could have outsped, but either way though, that means Eruption comes in. Terra Fire, I assume Charcoal in the Sun. It takes out Drifblim, but at least it got off its Helping Hand. And Shiftry, of course, lives on 1 thanks to its Focus Sash. This does mean that Drifblim doesn't get off an explosion on the following turn, and we can't really utilize its Unburden or Weakness policy yet. But let's see though, the explosion from Shiftry does not KO either of them actually. Lilligant has to, I assume, be Focus Sash, but Torkoal is dangerously low. Honestly though, having them both be at 1 HP is kind of good because we can send in both Weezing and Gardevoir. Because if Lilligant had died here, they would also get a free switch in. But because Gardevoir has a priority move in Vacuum Wave, we can essentially guarantee a KO on Lilligant. And because Torkoal is, well, Torkoal, it's very slow, we can also guarantee a KO onto that. Misty Terrain gets set up, but that's fine though, because we can have Weezing just use a regular all attack on the Torkoal, and Gardevoir can go for a Vacuum Wave, which is a priority move, onto the Lilligant. Because now in theory, let's say that we did KO the Lilligant earlier. We don't KO here, and they have a full Pokemon that is at full HP, and it's a lot more scarier to deal with. But with Lilligant out of the way, I can't use After You, so Torkoal doesn't get an early move, so that means we can take it out with our Weezing. We couldn't get off the big explosion, but that's fine though. It was just a delayed explosion, double KO. Down to our final two Pokemon versus his final two Pokemon. And they are going to be, let's have a look and see. Armarouge is one of them. Making use of the Sun makes sense, yep. And on the side is Indeedee as well. Very, well, I don't know if that was a Rage Quit or not. Connection error, always hard to say. But that was definitely on their end though. I mean, I'll take the win, but I am curious to see how that would have played out, because that Indeedee would have reset our terrain. So Misty Explosion may not have gotten the KO, but we could have Acid Sprayed anyway though. Maybe that would have gotten the KO, and then see where it goes from there. But oh well. For our next match, we are up against Irem AFK. Hopefully they're not AFK in this match. Hopefully we actually get to see the match to the end, not like the last one. But with a very interesting team. Hypno, Sableye, the Basca Legion female, Landorus but in its other form, and Iron Valiant. I was going to go for the usual Gardevoir Misty Explosion, but I figured, you know what, let's instead go for a Anger Point style win here. We're going to go with the Lucario, Drifblim in the lead, and Gardevoir Crocodile in the back. And they lead with Hypno and a shiny Sableye, so it looks yellow. Cosplaying as the Simpsons over here. Now, the fact that Sableye is out here is kind of annoying. Of course, being a ghost type, it means that it is going to be immune to explosion, so we can't really go for that. But we can still try and go for a weakness policy boost. So we can use Shadow Claw on Drifblim, that will activate weakness policy, and then we can use Acrobatics on the Sableye, which is a guaranteed hit. So hopefully once Sableye goes out, we can use Explosion on the following turns. So Gravity, Prankster Gravity, that is interesting. So it makes hits more likely to land. What they're going to do with that, we don't know yet. Shadow Claw will hit our Drifblim, and this will activate our Weakness Policy. Weakness Policy being activated, of course, means that we get not only just the bonuses to attack and special attack, but also Unburden activates, which will double our speed now. That means we can go first and use Acrobatics into the Sableye, and not get a... Oh, that wasn't even Sash. That was just, it lives on 1 HP, okay. That means Hypnosis from the Hypno puts us to sleep. That is kind of dangerous now, actually. Oh, I can't believe Sableye lives on 1. And we can't really use Vacuum Wave because, again, it's a Ghost type. So, I mean, we'll just use a regular attack on it anyway then, and hopefully he stays in. And if we wake up, we can use Acrobatics on the Hypno, but there's probably not a good chance that we wake up there. Going Sableye. Alright, let's see then. What is it going to be? Landorus comes out. Ooh. But obviously, because it's in the Genie form, that means that there is no Intimidate. That means Shadow Claw goes into Landorus and does not do a lot of damage, unfortunately. And, oh wow, Hypnosis again. Still no Sleep Claws, by the way. Shout out to a thing being invented in Pokémon Stadium 23 years ago. Not implemented in the main game. Alright, cool. I love being asleep. But you know what? I'm not going to switch out. I'm going to take this like a champ. I will still try and Shadow Claw Hypno, and I will, you know what? I'll just explode. If he sends in Sableye, oh no. But if not, then, oh. This could be a withdraw into Sableye, which means this could be a very bad explosion player. But instead, okay, no, it's Iron Valiant. We have our speed boost, we have our attack boost. This would be a great time to explode. They are both vulnerable, after all. Iron Valiant's speed gets heightened because, oh, we get the wake up. Which means we can go off for the explosion. And let's see, no attack drops from that Landorus. That is why people use the Landorus theory. I don't know if the Intimidate would have like made a difference here, but I would like to think it may have helped out a little bit. But that's fine though. A double KO, and we know that he has a 1 HP Sableye in the back, so we can deal with that pretty easily. Let's see what his next two Pokemon are. Lucario stays asleep, but that's fine. We burn 1 turn of sleep. Hopefully he wakes up on the following turn then. Unfortunately, its Lancet Berry isn't activated, otherwise I would have sent in Crocodile. Try and maybe go for a Cheese Anger Point, but instead we'll send in Gardevoir instead, as Hypno comes out for him, as well as the Sableye. I mean, in theory, he could just go for more sleep hacks, but we'll see what happens here. Ooh, he could, in theory, skill swap the Hypno to get Prankster Hypnosis. I wonder if that's what the play is for him. But either way though, we'll still try and go for our Shadow Claw into Hypno. Meanwhile, Gardevoir can just use Shadow Sneak on Sableye. We have priority now that can hit the Sableye, and unfortunately they just cancel, so we won't see that happen. But you get the idea though. Once we take out Sableye, it's pretty much an easy one against Hypno. Alright, for our next match, we are up against K with a very interesting team. Heatran, Sneasler, Ludicolo. It's a very interesting team. But we're going to go for our Crit Anger Point team strat again with the same old Lucario, Drifblim, Crocodile, Gardevoir in the back. If they set up with screens with the Grimmsnarl, it might be a bit difficult, but hey, maybe crits can break through that. They lead with Heatran and Iron Bundle though. Heatran being a bit of an issue, being a steel type, quite bulky, but let's see. No Sash, which means that it is booster energy on Iron Bundle boosting its speed, of course. That is definitely outspeeding us. So what we'll do is we'll go for the classic Vacuum Wave into Drifblim. And of course we have to then go for Terra here, but I mean it makes sense either way. Not only are we gearing Terra to activate Weakness Policy, but also we will lose our Flying type. So an Ice type move coming out from that Iron Bundle means that we will survive. Boosted damage will definitely help, but I don't know if that will KO the Heatran. It is steel after all. So Lucario goes first with Vacuum Wave. Doesn't do too much damage, this is important. That means that our Weakness Policy activates. So yeah, the Drifblim has just enough, what's it called, defense to survive the Vacuum Waves and whatnot. Freeze Dry as well, this is why we go Terra. And we do survive, but that's fine. Explosion comes out. Now the issue is, Heatran hasn't moved yet, so we're gonna have to see what that does. Let's see. Takes out Iron Bundle. It takes Lucario down to Lancet Berry, but the issue is Heatran is still at half HP. So the reason why I did this is because, like in the previous video, I was like, Empoleon can still attack. I just went for it anyway, and then he used like Agility. Here, who knows? Maybe Heatran isn't attacking. Maybe we'll be able to get away with it. Sneak out the Lucario Lancet Berry, and then we can go like Earthquake next turn here. But instead they go for an Earth Power. So Not very ideal. We do lose our Lucaria. We do lose our Lancet Berry, our way to activate our Anger Point on Crocodile. That's leftovers as well on the Heatran. That means it's down to just the Gardevoir as well as the Crocodile. But hey, maybe we get lucky. Maybe they accidentally get a crit onto Crocodile somehow. And the next Pokemon is the Annihilate. So Gardevoir can come out. Gardevoir at least has a good... We actually have good moves all around. We have Earthquake in theory and Psychic. And because Gardevoir has Telepathy, Earthquake won't affect us as well. So we can go for a Psychic onto the Annihilate. Meanwhile, Earthquake for the Heatran. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes Grass Terror here though. I mean, that's like the go-to, right? Yep, here is the Terror as we're speaking of. Terror onto Heatran. And oh, hang on. It's a green Terror, but it's not the green Terror. It's a Bug Terror. I mean, you still get your resistance to Earthquake, I suppose. But that is an interesting option here. We do decent damage, honestly, to the Annihilate, just under half health. And we do move forward with our Gardevoir, so Psychic does get the KO, being super effective. That means it's all down to the Heatran. What is it going to go for? Magma Storm. That's Heatran's signature move, right? Ooh, quite a bit of damage to Crocodile. And yeah, it's like Fire Spin essentially, right? It does damage over time. Leftovers as well. That means it's down to his final Pokemon as well. Ooh, okay, let's see. 60 damage, or 60 down to 39, so that's 21 damage. We do survive another turn, but the issue is Ludicolo. Is it Ludicolo or Ludicolo? I always forget. But either way though, we'll go for another Psychic plus Rock Slide, because now the nice thing about Bug is that Rock Slide is still super effective. So not the ideal Terror type, and ooh, a lot of damage. One more Rock Slide and that will get a KO, assuming we survive. But things aren't looking good for us. Psychic probably won't get a KO. Yeah, does not get a KO. And he's targeting Gardevoir now with Magma Storm, I suppose, yeah, because he's probably KOing Crocodile here with Ludicolo. Oh, but we get the flinch. That is absolutely huge. If that honestly, I think that flinch absolutely matters. If that doesn't flinch, I assume he KOs Crocodile here. Ooh, but 1 HP and a dream. Crocodile lives on 1 single HP. Oh my goodness. The Life Orb chip damage as well brought us even closer. So we can go for a Psychic again on Ludicolo, but a Rock Slide should KO the Heatran here. Unless it misses. Oh, it misses on the Heatran as well. That's the one that we needed it to hit as well. Of course, it goes down to the Life Orb. Gardevoir will at least get rid of Ludicolo here, but I guess maybe that's payback, right? We get a flinch, but we also miss here. That means Heatran gets off. What is this? Another an Earth Power. Down to 25 HP. I did not see how much Magma Storm did earlier. He is going to heal up with the leftovers here. Does he have Protect? If he protects, it's over here, right? Because 25... 6 HP! Oh, no! Let's see. Does the Psychic get a KO here? We do move first. The question is... Oh, it does get the KO. That, honestly, that's just down to a bad turn. Like, if he had Protect... He didn't have Assault Vest, right? So he could have protected if he had used Heat Wave instead of Magma Storm. He was relying too much on the damage over time. Also, the Bug Terror was very suspect there. But you know what? I can respect a man who says, you know what? Forget about the meta. I'm going to try my own Heatran. I can respect that. But hopefully, though, you enjoyed these battles and this team. Once again, if you did, always consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time, I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.